Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 10WT Friday, where every single week we teach you how to form the healthy habits that will transform your body and your life. You see, in order to transform, you have to start with your why. Then you have to set your goal, identify your weekly behaviors that will get you to your goal. You have to track your progress on a scoreboard, and then set micro habits every single week that set you up for success. And if you do these steps, your habits are going to be rock solid, your self-confidence will skyrocket, and you're going to be on the path closer to your best you. Every single week, we help individuals who are hungry for growth, people just like yourself, optimize their potential. I'm your host, Nick Carrier, and today I'm really excited to talk about a topic that so many of us struggle with, and that is how to curb the late night sweet tooth. The goal of the Best You podcast is to allow you to feel confident about what you need to do, why you need to do it, and how to do it in order to get closer and closer to your best you. This is just something that I have worked with so many people on. Now, that doesn't mean I've come up with an easy framework, because things are easier said than they are done, right? It's easier to say things than it is to do things. And this is something that I have struggled with in the past as well, having a late night sweet tooth, because it's just one of those things where after dinner, you just want a little bit something more, right? You just want a little bit something more before going to bed. And unfortunately, two things: that little bit of something more can turn into a lot of something more. And then whether or not it's a little or a lot, it can be really destructive and harmful when it comes to hitting your health and fitness goals, and maybe hitting your weight loss goal if that's one of your biggest goals. And so curbing the late night sweet tooth is absolutely critical when it comes to your goals, and it's absolutely critical when it comes to not being mad at yourself for having unhealthy sweets at the end of the night or unhealthy snacks at the end of the night. So today I'm going to give you 5 very practical tips that you can implement into your life to help you curb the late night sweet tooth. The first one is all around this idea that sometimes it's not the best strategy to try to avoid a bad habit. Sometimes it's a better strategy to try to replace a bad habit. And so the first step is making it a healthy dessert. Making it a healthy dessert, because I'll address the idea that it's not the best solution to eradicate a bad habit first. If you're watching on camera, I always like to use my hands as a visual for this. Oftentimes, bad habits are triggered by a specific thing. So trigger is the first thing that sparks us to do the bad habit so that we reach a specific solution. So trigger, habit, solution. Now, oftentimes triggers are things like emotions, people, places, things, and sometimes those are avoidable, but sometimes they're not. And so let's say, for example, somebody gets stressed out, that's their trigger. Then the solution they need is stress relief. And so they insert the bad habit of eating sweets. And that's what provides them with the stress relief. Okay, well, the trigger of stress is probably still going to come up at some points in your life. So you're still going to want the solution of stress relief. So instead of trying to leave that void open and just having a lot of willpower and not doing anything, let's insert a behavior and replace the bad habit with something that's a little bit more beneficial to you and your goals. So making a healthy sweet and having that on hand and ready to go when you're done with dinner. So having a healthy dessert to replace an unhealthy dessert with your late night sweet tooth. Number 2, something that I've recently started to try to implement, and that's drinking another glass of water. You see, after dinner, sometimes we just have a sweet tooth and we just want something to nibble on. Sometimes we're actually still a little bit hungry. And either way, if you have another glass of water, another 8, 10, 12, 16 ounces of water after dinner, you're going to get that much more full, and you're going to be that much less likely to snack on something after dinner. So have another glass of water when you're done with dinner before you decide to have that healthy dessert after dinner. Third, wait at least 15 minutes after dinner, because, I think a lot of us have that unhealthy snack or that unhealthy dessert right away because we think we're still hungry, but we're actually not still hungry. We just need to give our body a little bit of time to digest the food that we just fed it. And we need some time for that hormone of ghrelin, the hunger hormone is what I meant to say, the hunger hormone of ghrelin, to be transferred from the stomach to the brain, telling ourselves that we're actually full and we don't need anything. So waiting at least 15 minutes after dinner to let our body settle and digest, and the food settle and digest, can be really helpful as well. Number 4, this is a strategy I found helpful for myself, is when you finish dinner, brush your teeth ASAP. Brush your teeth ASAP. Because so many times we're not going to want to brush our teeth twice at the end of the day. And so if we can brush our teeth right after dinner, that's going to be the things that will prevent you from wanting to have anything else because I've already brushed my teeth. I don't want to have anything. I don't want to have to brush my teeth again. So when you're done with dinner, brush your teeth as quickly as possible to prevent yourself from having anything. And 5th and finally is keep a scoreboard. Tell yourself what you're going to do. Come up with a game plan for what you want to do this week when it comes to eating after dinner. Do you want to have, maybe there's one night where you want to have an unhealthy dessert. Maybe there's one night where you want to have just ice cream and cookies or whatever it is. Maybe there's one night with that. Maybe there's 3 nights where you want to have a healthier dessert. Maybe you have apple and a Lar bar as my always go-to. Maybe you have some nuts and dark chocolate. Whatever it is, come up with a healthy dessert. Maybe you have that 3 times. And then there's 3 days where maybe you don't have anything and you try to brush your teeth a little bit sooner. Come up with a game plan because the specificity of your preparation determines the consistency of your execution. Let me say that again. The specificity of your preparation determines the consistency of your execution. If you can prepare specifically and tell yourself exactly what it is that you're going to do and when you're going to do it, the likelihood that you execute is much higher. And if you have a scoreboard to remind you and something that you have to actually go check off after you have done the positive habit, then that's going to help you execute at a higher level as well. So again, 5 very tactical strategies to help you curb the late night sweet tooth. Number 1, replace the unhealthy dessert with a healthy dessert. Number 2, drink another glass of water when you're done with dinner before eating anything else. Number 3, wait at least 15 minutes after dinner before eating anything so that you can let the food digest and realize that you actually are full. Number 4, brush your teeth as quickly as possible when you're done with dinner. And number 5, keep a scoreboard. Now, the great thing about these 5 things is you don't have to pick one. You can do all of them if you want. The more that you implement, probably the more successful that you're going to be. I've had people try every single one of these before and have had great degrees of success. And look, sometimes drinking the water is going to work for you, or sometimes the brushing the teeth will work better. So just experiment and see what works best for you. But y'all, having a late night sweet tooth can be the thing that holds you back from making progress. It can be the thing that just keeps you stagnant and keeps you at the same weight and keeps you frustrated. It might not be anything you're doing with your actual meals. It might not be anything that you're doing with your actual workouts. It might simply be the late night sweet tooth that is holding you back. So if this is your issue, write down which of these 5 or all of these 5 that you're going to use, and let's start acting on it tomorrow. One of the things I would love for you to do is send me a DM on Instagram at carrier_bestyou around which of these 5 you're going to try. And it can be multiple. Send me a DM which of these 5 you're going to try. That way I can help to hold you accountable on whatever it is that you're going to try. So send me a DM at carrier_bestyou. Let me know which of these 5 you are going to try to implement. Other than that, I hope you guys got something out of this today. I know this is something that so many of us struggle with. I know it's something that I struggle with as well, but it's the implementation of these small little tricks and tips that can really help you consistently not let your late night sweet tooth get the best of you. Make sure you share this episode with a friend or family member who you know maybe also struggles with this same thing with the late night sweet tooth. All you got to do is send them to nickcarrier.com/podcast. Other than that, I hope these tips today help you get closer and closer to your health and fitness goals, and ultimately help you get closer and closer to your best you.